Athena Liya was living every influencer's dream. Her online following exploded. Brands began lining up. Her posts went viral. And in the eyes of her fans, this was only the beginning. Until one day, she mysteriously disappeared. Months ago, one of you asked me to investigate this case. It's about a missing woman, and I'll be honest, at the very surface, that's exactly what it looked like. I spent weeks scouring the internet, diving deep into forums, following digital breadcrumbs across social media platforms, and what I found was a web of human trafficking, international crime syndicates, a scam empire that is worth tens of billions of dollars. Athena Liya was a rising star. In 2021, she earned the title of third runner-up at Miss World Macau. Her social media following was exploding. She had everything going for her. But on August 19, 2023, she started trending for all the wrong reasons. Rumors exploded across the internet, claims that she had been trafficked to Southeast Asia, allegedly set up by someone she trusted. The internet went into overdrive. Hashtags flooded search rankings. Theories spread like wildfire. Nobody knows where Athena is. And to understand what might have happened to her, I had to zoom out and look at what's really going on in this part of the world. Because what I discovered is that Athena's case isn't isolated. It's part of something much bigger, much darker, and it's happening right now. Okay, so before we dive into Athena's story, I need to show you something. Since Myanmar's ongoing civil war and the 2021 military coup, this country has basically become a free-for-all for organized crime. And I mean everything: human trafficking, cyber scams, drug smuggling. Criminal syndicates looked at the chaos and were like, perfect, no one's watching. So they set up these massive fraud compounds near the Thai-Myanmar border, places with names like Mayawati and Shwe Koko. And here's the thing, these aren't just scam centers, they're modern-day slavery camps. This isn't just something happening in Myanmar. Right now, Southeast Asia is at the center of a fast-growing human trafficking crisis, and it's all tied to those shady online scam centers you've probably heard about. From Cambodia to Myanmar, Laos, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Thailand. They're especially targeting influencers, students, multilingual workers, even people caught up in romance scams, then forcing them to run online fraud schemes under brutal conditions. We're talking about serious abuse here. Victims are trapped in debt, tortured, sexually assaulted, and made to work like slaves.
Of my colleague from this place, what happened there? What is the job? And he was told me about the punch, electric shot, and
the UN estimates that hundreds of thousands of people are stuck in these so-called fraud factories. They've even called it a full-blown humanitarian emergency. From KK Park to Dong Mae to the massive scam zones in Myanmar and Cambodia, many of these compounds are run by powerful Chinese crime bosses, men like Xie Zhijiang and Wan Kwok Koi. Here's how they do it, and this is important because it's exactly what might have happened to Athena. They lure people in with fake job offers, usually targeting Chinese nationals, but victims come from all over Asia. You think you're getting your dream job, maybe in tech, maybe in entertainment. You're excited, you fly out, you're thinking about your future. But the second you land, your passport vanishes, the doors lock, and suddenly you're not an employee anymore. You're a prisoner, forced to run online scams under conditions that, look, I can only describe them as torture. A report I found from January 2025 estimated that more than 6,000 people from 21 different countries are currently being held in Myanmar alone. One of the most infamous places is called KK Park, and when I dug into this place, it's directly linked to forced labor, torture, and extortion. And if you resist, they beat you, they starve you. Sometimes they even sell you off to other gangs like your property. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds too crazy to be real, right? Well, we got a perfect example of exactly how this system works from a case that literally just happened in January 2025. Chinese actor Wang Xing, you might recognize him from small roles in films like Ip Man 3, thought he was finally getting his big break. Instead, he walked straight into a nightmare. And when I started digging into Wang's case, I realized it's like a blueprint for what might have happened to Athena. It all started in a WeChat group. Someone claiming to be a casting agent from GMM Grammy, that's a legitimate Thai entertainment company, reached out to Wang. They said he'd been selected for a role, that he was irreplaceable. Now, Wang was skeptical at first, but the promise of future roles, the professional-sounding offer, it eventually convinced him. On January 3, 2025, Wang flew to Bangkok. A car picked him up at the airport, later confirmed to be operated by traffickers. They drove him toward the Thai-Myanmar border, specifically the Mae Sot district, and that's where all contact with him was lost. He was smuggled across the Moe River into Myanmar and taken to a place called Apollo Park. According to Wang's later testimony, Apollo Park had 3 buildings: a holding center for newly abducted victims, a training area where captives were taught how to scam people online, and a work zone where victims carried out the fraud, targeting people around the world. Wang was shaved bald, something many of these scam centers do to strip away victims' identities. He feared he'd be forced to run online scams targeting Chinese citizens. His girlfriend, Jia, reported him missing. Her post on Weibo went viral, drawing attention from celebrities like Shu Qi, Yao Chen, and Gong Jun. Other actors came forward, revealing they had received similar fake offers, but narrowly avoided being lured in. The media pressure worked. Thailand's Prime Minister publicly confirmed Wang's location. Thai forces, along with Myanmar officials and Karen militia, negotiated his release. On January 7th, Wang was returned via the Thai-Myanmar Friendship Bridge, visibly shaken but alive.
So after you pass the river, do you know that is Thailand? I don't know. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I also thought it was Thailand. And until the army just with weapon and just pushed me into the car, I thought, wow, maybe it's not Thailand. It's in the other country.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks all of us. Firstly, is the government and also the families to help me to be here, and I can have the chance to go back to my country. I very appreciate. Yeah, and also.
The raid on Apollo Park led to the arrest of its leader Jin. 12 suspects connected to the ring were detained in both Thailand and China. 10 Chinese nationals involved in Wang's kidnapping were extradited. More rescues followed. At least 2 Chinese women, abducted under similar circumstances, were freed. Authorities estimated over 1,500 potential victims across various scam centers. Thai authorities took drastic action, cutting power and internet access to 5 major Myanmar border zones. This forced local militias to begin shutting down operations. Up to 8,000 scam workers were identified for deportation. Now, many people hoped this breakthrough would shed light on Athena's fate, but she was nowhere to be found, and that's where our story really begins. Let me take you through Athena's digital footprint in the months before she vanished. In February 2023, she shared snapshots from a trip to Thailand, tourist spots, street food, sunny days with friends, normal influencer content. By March, something weird happened. Her posts started showing an IP address in London. Then, on April 9th, she uploaded this short TikTok walking through what looked like British streets. The caption read, "Read 1,000 books, travel 10,000 miles, make a fortune, study abroad, UK," pretty standard influencer stuff. 2 weeks later, on April 23rd, her birthday, her TikTok auto-updated with a status. But here's the thing that caught my attention. It was automatic, not a manual post. Like, she wasn't actually there to post it herself. Athena's last public post was on June 12, 2023. She shared a photo on Xiaohongshu, that's basically China's Instagram, sitting at a cafe in Hangzhou with a friend. But here's what's weird. She didn't respond to any comments or messages. Nothing. And then, radio silence, complete digital blackout. Now think about this for a second. For an influencer, that kind of silence is basically career suicide. These are people who live and breathe social media. A sudden drop-off like this, it just doesn't happen, unless they've gone completely off-grid or something really bad has happened. At first, Athena's silence didn't raise too many red flags, but by July 2023, something felt very, very wrong. People were whispering that Athena had been tricked by a close friend and taken to Manila, where she was allegedly being held against her will. Screenshots of private messages started surfacing. The friend in question was a woman named Li Yifei. According to multiple sources I found online, the two were supposed to travel together through Southeast Asia. Li had recently gone through a breakup and had been pushing Athena to join her on this getaway to unwind. But here's where it gets really suspicious. On the day of the trip, June 16th, Li suddenly backed out. She texted Athena that she couldn't go because of a family emergency. Athena, understandably confused, replied, "Wait, I thought this whole trip was for you to relax. Why aren't you going now?" Li tried to reassure her, "We can't leave today, but I'll reschedule the flight and go tomorrow instead." But by then, Athena was already committed. She'd made travel plans, and a man named Bing had been arranged to pick her up at the airport in Manila. Despite her frustration about Li backing out at the last minute, Athena boarded her flight from Guangzhou to Manila at 2 p.m. on June 16th. Her plane landed at 4:35 p.m., and this is where another mysterious figure enters the story. Chat logs from a private WeChat group show a user named Neo checking in after she landed. He told the group Athena was safe and gave her instructions. Go to Gate 7, where a driver would be waiting with a sign. He even went so far as to book her the presidential suite at the Solaire Resort and set up dinner that evening, promising to meet her there in person. Now, you're probably wondering, are Neo and Bing the same person? That's one of many questions that still don't have answers. According to Athena's friends, things started to feel off almost immediately. On her very first day in the Philippines, she began borrowing money from several people back home. The reasons she gave changed each time and didn't match what they knew about her financial situation. As time went on, Athena's borrowing became more frequent, and her excuses grew increasingly bizarre. She inexplicably blocked many close friends on social media. Even more alarming was the sudden halt in updates to her WeChat Moments, a platform where Athena had previously posted new content almost daily. On June 22nd, 2023, Athena's family and friends filed a police report. Insiders revealed her parents had paid an 800,000 RMB ransom. That's about 110,000 USD. But there was still no news of her whereabouts. Li Yifei, the friend who had cancelled the trip at the last minute, became the target of massive public backlash. The internet had questions, and they wanted answers. Under mounting pressure, Li came forward with an explanation. She claimed they met as students and developed a sister-like friendship. That Athena, whose real name was Kong Limei, born in 1995, was a travel blogger who had visited the UK in March 2023. Li said she hosted Athena for 2 weeks and helped with travel content creation. She claimed Athena had introduced her to this man, Bing, during a meal, and that they had discussed trips to Boracay and Bali, but his studies prevented him from joining. But here's where Li's story starts to fall apart. According to people close to Athena, the same day that no one could contact her anymore, Li had deleted all her social media accounts. She deleted all her photos with Athena. She even changed her WeChat profile picture. And when family members later managed to contact Li, she never mentioned any of the explanations she later gave publicly. The inconsistencies kept piling up. On June 23rd, Li claimed to be in Hong Kong. On July 25th, her father told others she was in London. Later, Li claimed to be in Japan. Nothing added up. According to some sources, chat records show Li falsely claimed to have arrived first in Manila, mentioning taking a hotel shower because airport people smelled bad. Despite never actually going to the Philippines, Li also claimed Athena had called her from a Philippine casino, but friends emphasized that Athena never gambled. So I started digging into Li's background. Reportedly from Wuhan, Li attended middle and high school in Shenzhen before studying in London. She was well known in both cities for cultivating a flashy, rich second-generation persona, frequently flaunting wealth to gain trust. This allowed her to socialize with wealthy peers and attractive women. But according to rumors, there were darker intentions behind this lifestyle. Sources suggest Li and her mother had frequently acted as intermediaries, arranging for young women to work as hostesses. The theory that emerged is that Athena's disappearance links to an international crime syndicate that uses social media to recruit young women, lures them to Southeast Asia for illegal activities, and that Li exploited her close relationship with Athena to deliver her to this syndicate in the Philippines. As public concern over Athena's disappearance grew, concerned individuals flooded the online forums of the Chaoshan Chamber of Commerce, pleading for their intervention. The business association was known for its significant influence in the region, including their past success rescuing victims from northern Myanmar. They became many people's last hope for Athena's safe return. On August 22nd, multiple media outlets reported that Athena might soon return home with the Chamber's assistance, claims that were allegedly confirmed by family members. Media reports quoted Chamber Representative Yang Jingwei, stating that Athena's last known location was the Philippines. But the story took another turn on August 23rd, when Yang Jingwei clarified via social media that he had never granted media interviews, warning against speculation that could endanger Athena. Meanwhile, some people noticed Athena's name appearing in the victim list of an anti-fraud PSA video posted by Ningbo Police Department on August 16th. Then, on September 7th, 2023, a blogger known as Bangkok Old White dropped what he claimed was a bombshell. Athena had been trafficked to Asia No. 1, a high-end nightclub in Cambodia. According to the blogger, this place was described as Cambodia's most luxurious elite nightclub, catering exclusively to wealthy and powerful clients. Hosts were reportedly priced openly, with no control over what happens once a deal is made. Despite skepticism over the blogger's claims, a leaked video soon emerged showing a disheveled woman being dragged by her hair into what appeared to be Asia No. 1's back entrance. The blogger insisted this was Athena. A Telegram channel allegedly advertised her services at $10,000 per hour, capitalizing on her beauty and notoriety to attract deep-pocketed clients. Now, I have to be clear here. These are unverified claims from a single blogger. But what happened next made the story even more disturbing. Some people online directly went to Asia No. 1's social media accounts to inquire about the specifics. Just one day later, the manager replied that Athena had already passed away. Whether the manager was telling the truth or just talking nonsense is unclear. Some revealed that Athena had allegedly endured significant torture before being sent to the nightclub, which caused irreversible damage to her body. Others claimed that after her passing, she was buried at sea. Asia No. 1's account was banned on September 12, 2023. In 2024, rumors emerged that Athena, missing for over a year, had been spotted at Cambodia's Jingbei casino. Photos and videos surfaced online, showing a group of young women in evening gowns with numbered badges pinned to their waists. Among them was a woman in a pink dress, believed by some to be Athena. The woman, labeled 66 due to her badge, stood with her hands clasped beneath her chest. Multiple visitors to Jingbei Casino claimed to have seen her and noted her striking resemblance to Athena. Speculation grew that Athena, possibly addicted to controlled substances and controlled by a scam syndicate, had been forced to work as a high-value asset for the casino. Then, in late 2024, a report claimed the Chaoshan Business Association had rescued her. An alleged insider stated they witnessed her release and confirmed her return to China for treatment, but there's no official confirmation of any of this. It was also rumored she had given birth to a child fathered by a senior figure in the scam compound during her captivity. While Athena's social media profile now lists Guangdong as her location, skeptics point out that this could be manually entered rather than an actual IP address. Neither Athena nor the Chaoshan Business Association has publicly addressed these rumors, and honestly, If she has been rescued and is recovering, privacy would understandably take precedence over public statements. But the truth is, we just don't know what's real and what's speculation. I'm left with more questions than answers. For example, did anyone even check the immigration records in the Philippines? And in an age where CCTV cameras are everywhere, how is it possible that there's absolutely no trace of Athena Liya? What do you think happened to her? Wherever Athena is right now, I really hope she's safe. I hope she's recovering, and I hope that by telling her story, maybe we can prevent someone else from falling into the same trap. If you or someone you know has been affected by human trafficking, there are resources out there. I'll put links in the description below. Thanks for watching Crimes Anatomy.